put things in proper perspective. You know, if your family, if those that do the will of the Lord, that doesn't mean necessarily serving how much you want to shine. But sometimes it's having a decent relationship. Scripture says that it's a cup of water, he's always in the process of water. So sometimes just being in the right spirit to deal with it is enough. So to deal with it in that regard, but you gotta move and do. No, like you still trying to talk to your third cousin on your mama's side, man. That ain't it, man. Right?
You can laugh at it. You know, that's what first initial awakening point. You done told everybody. You talking about 3, 4, 5, 10 years later. It's like, yo, the Lord was going to give them any kind of inkling of the truth. He would have gave it, and if He gives it, He give it. But don't dwell on that. Yeah. You don't force, in the spirit. I'm trying to wake them up. I'm like, bro, wake up, mom. It's not even right. It's not even you that's waking them up. You didn't wake them up.
Spiritually slapping your mom around and shit.
The Spirit of the Lord, He the one that gives it into the word. The Lord is the one that gives it into the word. So you know that concept.
I know when brothers remember as a child, they had Power Rangers and they had Ivan Ooze. And he had that ooze juice. Which that represents that Babylonian juice that what it said they had all the earth drunk. And you remember it was on there, and Ivan Ooze was a big boy witch. He was a warlock. And the fathers and stuff would say, I think the only ones that was really working on the children. Which is spiritual. That was that 1/3, 2/3 cutoff. Which they really were supposed to go off the cliff, but
they couldn't show that for some movie.
Yeah, they ain't gonna show that movie.
They should have missed it.
But it's spiritual.
Messed us up. You go there, get that in Isaiah?
This is Isaiah 1 verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel do it not know, my people do it not consider.
They do it not consider. And at this point of the game, the only thing left to get them to consider the Lord is death and destruction. The Lord is going to have to literally bring that fire. Sometimes you got a child, your child, you be like, trying to talk sense to your child. You sit them down, speak nice. Sometimes you might yell at them, make angry faces and shit. But then sometimes you be like, I done did it all. You forced my hand. I have to whoop your ass. Just to maintain order. You made it where I have to do this. So then you tell your child, hey, don't be mad at me, be mad at yourself, man. So that's what the Lord is going to bring on this place, man. The Lord is going to bring great destruction on our people because they just won't listen. Right? Go ahead, bring it out, bro.
Ecclesiastes Sirach 30:8. And horse not broken becometh headstrong, and a child left to himself will be willful.
Yeah, that's right. That's why we were reading back in the law about what? You're supposed to teach your children. You're supposed to break them under the law of Yahweh Shem. But our people are under that vibration. Our people are under every vibration of the world. That's why our people are going to crumble. They don't even know how messed up they are because they don't understand what makes a nation a nation. It starts with the children. That's why Esau, he's so going to wipe the media. It's free game on your children. Everything is really for your children. That's why when you listen to this music, you're like, what the hell is this poo shiesty?
Right.
What the hell is this spot 'em got 'em? You be like, you a grown ass man. Of course you don't understand it. Right. But the little kids, they hitting all these fucking TikTok videos to it because it's for them. Yeah. It ain't for you as a 30, 40-year-old man. You are set in your ways. That's for the 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds. Their mind is still able to be, changed up. Any more of that? Was that on that, bro? Yeah. Let's go back to that.
The children are very impressionable.
Because they're foolish.
Yeah,
Scriptures say the foolishness is set in the heart's child. Yeah, how to deal with a child. But this world makes it where you can't deal with your children as such. You beat your child's ass, you abusive.
Well, they have to undergo the education of Esau. It's basically damn near illegal if you try to survive really in this system without Esau's education. You got to go through his educational ring, man. You got to keep the K through 12. And even if you're doing homeschool, a lot of the rhetoric still comes from Esau.
You can't,
the curriculum. That's it. The curriculum.
I would say the only advantage is you still got time to. Because I'm like, when these kids are now sitting at home, it's like, but that's showing that these parents really have no. they're so used to sending their kids off, they don't have nothing to teach their kids, so they want them to go back to school. But really, I would be like, you know what, that's an opportunity for me to teach my kids something now. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? That's how destroyed the system is, because when you really got a child in this shit, you can't do nothing. You really come to the understanding of how imprisoned you are. We're gonna hit a few scriptures to close up. But let's go back to Deuteronomy 6.
Deuteronomy 6 and verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down.
So basically, as you go about your business, like how we do, when we get together as brothers, you might run into a brother in a
Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 16. Thus saith the Lord, stand in the ways of the sea, and as for the old path, where is the good way, and walk therein. Right, because really when you go into the scriptures, okay, all the old paths of the outside, or all the old paths of men were righteous paths, especially concerning the men of the Lord, man. You know, because there was a kingdom set up at a time, you know, especially on the days of King David and King Solomon. Okay, they were set upon the laws of the outside. You know, so that's what Yahweh Shah when he comes back. Okay, he's gonna implement all these old paths. Okay, he's gonna implement the laws back into the land. Okay, because that's true pursuant to Baruch the 4th chapter. All right, that's the true light, man. These books, these commandments are light, man. All right, go ahead. As for the old path, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said we will not walk therein. And I think that modern day women ain't found no type of rest whatsoever, man. Anything. And that's the main reason why, because they're refusing to teach the old path to y'all about to be outside. You know, Jake's mindset is out with the old, in with the new. But all the new things that's been happening, they fucked y'all up. You know, continuously on top of that. So clearly, anything that's new in this society is not good for you. All this new technology isn't really good for you. You know, there was a time where they tell you not to sit close to the TV, but now they got virtual reality. Where it's really your TV in your face, man. You know, all these new ways are foolish. You know what I mean? I want to say what proves that, you know, the way society learns people follow after in the society, you know it's wrong because it is in the rules of the people. Right, those 9:24. So it's a given that the vibration is different, like you said, strong out of most people. You know, you notice these people are not children of the world. Because they don't follow any of the laws of the Most High. Over in the individuals are the ones that claim to be Israelites. Okay, they really the Emerald type. But they got mo parades, yeah. You know, they specialize in all that wickedness. So you know these ain't the true people of the Lord, man. Right, go ahead.
Romans chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Right, and all these scriptures, they were written, like the scriptures say, written aforetime for our learning. So this is the true.
We're supposed to be living our lives, man. You know, our lives should revolve around the scriptures, man. Revolve around Yahweh Bashim Ashai. Because that is the true way. When you go back to, I think it's the book of Joshua, he said, I have set before you this day life and death. Therefore, choose life. You know, the Lord told us what to do, essentially, but niggas still didn't want to listen at the end of the day. So that's why they still taking the L's to this day. You know? You got that? What is that? That's later on.
This is Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. This is Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
Exactly. That, you know, you go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, verse 1 through 14, the Lord spoke about all the blessings that would come upon us if we listen to the laws of Yahweh Bashim Ashai. So you can clearly see that that didn't take place. You know, what clearly took place is verse 15 on down to the end of the chapter. Why? Because we forsook the laws of Yahweh Shemashai. We forsook the true way. All right, the one actual way to actually live abundantly. Because this earth was created for us. I think that's in 2nd Ezra, 6th chapter.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, brother, to get that. Go ahead.
This is Baruch chapter 1 and verse 17. It says, "For we have sinned before the Lord and disobeyed him, and have not hearkened unto the voice of the Lord our power, to walk in his commandments that he gave us openly."
Hey, that's it. Go ahead.
Since the day that the Lord brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt unto this present day, we have been disobedient unto the Lord our power, and we have been negligent in not hearing his voice.
And that's the number one thing that Jake always asks. Why are we getting shot down in the streets by the cops? Why can't I pay my lights and my rent? You know, why am I catching hell 24/7? That's the main reason why. Because we failed to listen and hearken to the Heavenly Father, man, and what He said. Going back to that same answer, man, He set before us life and death, and we willfully chose death. Man. We chose not to follow the laws of Yahweh Shemashai. So now we have to, reap the benefits of our labor. Scripture talk about reaping what you sow.
Yeah. Brother, it said in the scripture that I think the brother just read about, if you serve the Lord, it shall be success.
Yeah.
So it's like you said, if Jake don't see that your ways are leading you to an unsuccessful life, it's because you aren't serving the Lord. If you serve the Lord, you're successful. If you don't, you're going to be unsuccessful. It's just that simple.
That's right.
And that's Jake asking questions, like JB asking questions, and it's like, but you should already know the answer.
Yeah, God. And that's Jake's biggest thing, especially in this society. They want to be successful. This is the number one way to be successful in your life, man.
That's right.
Is to follow Yahweh Shemashai. That's right. There's no other way. Because what did King Solomon receive when he asked for wisdom? He received all the riches. He received all the women. He received all the glory.
Right.
All the praise. He received everything for simply seeking the Heavenly Father. But, what I was saying, man, it just don't click in Jake's mindset right now. Which is why they got to go. 2/3 can't get it. That's right. Go ahead. Oh,
Verse 20, it says, "Wherefore the evils have cleaved unto us, and the curse, which the Lord appointed by Moses his servant at the time that he brought our fathers out of the land of Egypt, to give us a land that floweth with milk and honey, like as it is to see this day. Nevertheless, we have not hearkened unto the voice of the Lord our power, according unto all the words of the prophets whom he sent unto us." That's the last verse. "But every man followed the imaginations of his own wicked heart, to serve strange gods, and to do evil in the sight of the Lord our power."
And that's the thing too, man. All these prophets that have been sent on the earth, and Jake still don't get it. Jake still don't get it even to this day. The men of the Lord have been out on the highways and byways since like the 60s.
Yep.
And they still don't understand. They still don't see.
Proverbs 14 and 12, "There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death."
And that goes into following their own imaginations. Jake want to find their own way and carve their own path instead of following the path that has already been set before us, man. But
Because everybody wants to be somebody. Our people's egos overtake truth. So they want to be okay. This is my path. This is my way. That's why everybody has a movement. Everybody wants to start a coalition. Everybody wants to be a movement. When the Lord already set up the path where
School needs teaching.
everybody wants to be the master, when the Lord already, and like I said, the Lord already had the path set up.
I got this already. Oh, okay, real quick. Jeremiah 15 and 1. And it says, "And then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be towards this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth." Oh, well, like the brother said, the Lord gave us the prophets. The Lord gave us the law. And ultimately the Lord said, yeah, I was shy to make it right. And it's kind of like, what more could the Lord possibly give our people to show that, hey, he's with us and to get right? But instead, these people are still going off, man. But that's why you have the dishonorary 2/3 club.
It's the same people, the same movement, right? 2/3 that want to sign. You know, they want, it's the same when you try to go tell a nigga about, you know, the Most High and you preach on the Bible, they want the Most High to come off his throne and do a one-on-one sit down with you. Yeah. You know, and that's not how the Lord is going to operate. The Lord literally showed Israelites signs back in the days when he delivered us out of Egypt. Like, it was in our face. Part of the whole Red Sea in our face. So now, but you know, niggas still was being wicked and you know, in the wilderness disbelieving and shit.
You want to go back?
So how so much now?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, you know. So how so much now, man? Man, the Lord, which really through the Spirit, this is one of the biggest signs of it. You know, brothers coming from the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom, reuniting back as one. You know, brothers coming from different walks of life, yeah, kind of Israelite foreigners. You know, this is one of the biggest signs, and they still don't get that. So the Lord not finna come down and personally teach you niggas, man. And he's already doing that through his men. Matthew 10 and 20, we ain't even all words.
That's right.
That's right.
The scriptures say, we read the book of Amos, it says, I will do nothing but release my secret to my servants and prophets. So that shows you the Lord, one example of how the Lord is dealing with it. I wanted to get this to show that the Lord has established, you know, a specific way for you to get in. And people always, like the brothers were saying, try to find an alternative way in. But it's not going to lead to the destination. This is John chapter 10, verse 1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same as a thief and a robber.
Right, so you can't come in any other way but that straight gate.
That's right.
You know, there's 144 flights of steps to the kingdom, man. And you can't take the elevator. So at this point, yeah, you gotta climb all those steps, man. Jake wanna get the easy way to the kingdom.
Yeah.
And the easy way to the kingdom is Christianity. And I think a brother was bringing it up a couple days ago. That nigga Steve Harvey was talking about this getting to heaven is like having 800 different channels. It's always there's multiple ways to get to heaven. You know, that don't make no sense.
Like it's a bunch of doors up there. It's like, you know what? You got a key, you get a key, you got a key.
Right.
Open whichever door you like.
Straight is the way.
Right.
Well, I was about to read it.
What the hell do Steve Harvey know?
Man,
You see what I'm saying? But our people look and esteem his word as being gold. Because he's a so-called rich man.
But he's a self-proclaimed sellout.
Man, Steve Harvey don't know shit.
I think he was on TV one time. He said he gonna choose a.
Yeah, he's self-proclaimed sellout.
Yeah, you know,
he told Monique that.
Oh yeah, it was Monique. Yeah, he told her.
He told her what?
What was he saying?
Basically,
He was making monkey noises and shit.
Whatever he gotta do.
Yeah.
Whatever he gotta do.
He told her to shut up, basically.
Yeah. He gonna do whatever it takes to get that bag by first man.
Oh, well, remember when he said on his special, he was like, if they offered, he said they offered Big Green Giant guy M's or whatever. He was like, if for me to get some M's, if I gotta act like a monkey,
Yeah.
that's it. He started,
making monkey noises.
Oh yeah, I remember that too.
You let it be known. He's like, man, he has a price, man. It's a low price.
God.
That's why he don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Celebrities.
Yeah. Fucking Lord.
This is Matthew chapter 7, verse 13 to 14. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat.
So all them 800 channels is that broad way. You know, you're not gonna get to the kingdom of heaven clicking on every different channel.
That's right.
You know, you gotta tune into one channel, tune into one doctrine, and continue in that doctrine. You know, go ahead.
Verse 14, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Verse 14, Matthew 7 and 14, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it.
Right, and that's the thing. It said few there be that find it. The elect is the only ones that's going to find a true way to get into the kingdom of heaven, man. That's right. All the other Israelites, 2/3 of the nation Israel, they're going to have to die just to receive salvation, you know, and that's just the harsh truth. That's the harsh reality. Because right now, the Most High has given them over, you know, to that strong delusion. The brother got that precept real quick.
This is 2 Thessalonians 2:10. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they shall believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness.
Right, and here it is, we're bringing forth the truth and the true light of the world, you know, because Yahushua said, you're the light of the world, and therefore let your light shine. So we're bringing forth this light, you know, we're bringing forth a way to get you out of, you know, to pull you out of that damn darkness, and you still denying it. You still, you know, turning the hand away from the Lord. So that's why the Lord ain't gonna have no mercy on 2/3 when he returns, man. And he's not doing it now. The Lord don't care right now for the nation, or for 2/3 of the nation of Israel. He's coming back to deliver the elect.
That's right.
Exactly.
Isaiah chapter 60 verse 2, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
That's it. Only the elect. The elect is the only ones that's going to have that light, man. And that's going to have that glory. Going to be the ones to inherit the kingdom of the Most High. You know, because a lot of brothers ain't going to have to die for this truth. Some will, but a lot won't. But even still, the ones that are martyrs, all right, we still will be the first ones to get, you know, everything in the kingdom, man. You know, we ain't going to have to come back as a newborn and have to get, you know, told how wicked we was, you know, had the eternal shame, heads down and shit. We ain't going to have to go through that, man. You know, go ahead.
It's Proverbs 1:22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scores, and fools hate knowledge? It says, verse 23, turn you at my reproof, behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and ye have refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. So that's how people, 2/3 are treating this truth. They walk by, or when they, you know, be on the comment board scoffing, or just watching the video, the Lord is literally stretching his hand out, like, hey, come back and repent. But they reject it, man. Like I said, for example, talking shit, or just ignoring it, man. And the Lord gonna kill you for doing that.
That's right.
The scriptures say, scoffers shall come in the last days, you know, simply paraphrasing. Well, yeah, that's really it.
John chapter 15 verse 22, if I had not come and spoken unto them, then they had not had sin, but now they have no cloak for their sin.
Right, and now there's no longer an excuse for any Israelite, man. You know, or let alone any nation, because at the end of the day, this truth, this gospel is being preached to all the nations. And then the end shall come. So when the end comes, everybody gonna know what time it is. There's not gonna be an excuse. Oh, well, I didn't know. You know, I didn't know we was Israelites.
We're broke. On January 6th in the Capitol, I'm pretty sure all brothers were familiar with. We saw the clip. You had was it HOI or HODC out there? Yeah, the HOI, the pull-up boys, they was out there.
Yeah.
And you know, we were like, man, what the fuck is wrong with them? But over a live stream of the Capitol being raided, where everybody's news is on, you have some vibration of America's gonna be destroyed and the Israelites, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Now, the Lord didn't make it. The Lord didn't put us in that position.
Right.
You know, but at the same time, like how you said, there's not gonna be no excuse, because even at that point, millions and millions of people heard the word, whether they know it or not subconsciously. You might have been watching the news and seeing monkey ass white people climbing up walls and stuff. But in your subconscious was being put in the word of the Lord, man.
Right. At the end of the day, that's really the point. We're the Israelites.
Getting
things
sealed.
is going down.
That's it.
Everything else can be learned.
If you an Israelite, repent.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why, you know, we don't, you know, especially Sundays in the camp, you know, that's the main thing. They pushing out the vibration, you know, that we are Israelites. You know, America's going down. So regardless, you heard it one way or another.
That's right.
You know, now granted, if you in the other camp, if you're not in the right doctrine, you're off. But, you know, it's here and there. Go ahead.
You got it out. This Romans 10 verse 18. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went to all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world.
You got it. Read that again.
This is Romans 10 verse 18. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went to all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world.
Ain't gonna be no excuse, man. Everybody has heard or will hear this truth, one way or another. I remember we was at camp, it was like around last year, and somebody was walking and they was on FaceTime and they put us in the camera. So whoever was on FaceTime in the camera got the word in their crib, marked, on the bed. It's just that simple. It's literally just that simple. The Lord don't require much, man. He gonna make sure you see it. Even if it's a glimpse. If you walk by, turn the head, drive, glimpse. You seen it, you didn't stop, you didn't come to inquire about it, so the Lord gonna destroy you. It's just that simple, man. It's not hard, bro. And it's the beautiful part about it, man. Go ahead.
Hebrews 10 and 26, it says, for if we sin willfully, Hebrews 10 and 26, for if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sin.
Yeah, that's it. So there's no more sacrifice after you receive this knowledge, man. If you have a man of the Lord come to you and sincerely tell you the truth, okay, and tell you that you need to repent and come back to the Lord, and then on top of that, if you receive the names, and then you go back and continue to be a nigga, there's no more sacrifice for forgiveness. You know, essentially at that point it's happening on the blood of Yahushua, man. And you just don't care. You know, so the Lord's not gonna have mercy on you in that day. He's gonna be the same people that's gonna be begging the Lord for mercy, or in the last days, you know, they gonna remember the names of Yahweh Shai, and they gonna just try to call on it. Like it's just a random phone number, you can just pick up on it real quick. And that's not how the Lord operates.
This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
Right, and that's how the Most High operates, man. Before he brings destruction upon a place, he sends out his prophet to let everybody know, hey, you better get right or you gonna get left. That's how the Most High operates, man. And he don't just pop up out the blue and just start, you know, slaying shit. He can. He's righteous in every act. But that's just not how he moves.
This is Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Right. So this has been, you know, according to the scripture, to the spirit of the prophets, you know, through the spirit, Lord, with those men. All right, we've been doing this. You know, we've been coming out in every, you know, captivity, whatever, and prophesying the downfall of all these wicked kingdoms. And now this is the one in final kingdom that we gotta stand up and prophesy here. You know, and the Lord is gonna utterly bring this place down. And it's happening real soon, bro.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 10, verse 13, read down to 14. Yet ye have forsaken me and served other gods, wherefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation.
That's it, man. Hey, so that's how the Most High is gonna be. Psalms.
Esau trying to join the camp. See Esau trying to join the camp. Let me in on this action.
Go cry to Jesus.
Yes, sweet Jesus. And there's been a lot of shooting in churches.
Yeah.
I seen a video. They had a girl. They told her to put on a face mask in the church. Then I don't know if y'all brothers seen that. Then the gunshots went up. Bah, bah. I said, ah! They were screaming. They killed her because she told her to put the face mask on in the church. You know, it's a lot. It's all kind of cruel shit that just going on the face of the earth. You know.
South Africa, a woman dies every 3 hours.
What?
Murdered. Murdered every 3 hours. It's a bad time to be a woman.
Yeah.
Love many wax and cold, man.
Love a mini shall wax cold. Hey, and they showed you down the movie The Purge. When The Purge was enacted, it was a lot of people that wanted to just kill their own family. You had the one girl that was jealous of her sister because her sister was getting popped, I think, by the husband. And then right when The Purge, she had shot her. She had killed her, man. You know? And that's the spirit that a lot of these people are going to, which the Lord says, you know, put at various families. And he was even talking about Israel back then in Matthew 10 and 35. How much more now?
Egyptians against Egyptians.
I shall set the Egyptians against the Egyptians.
Man was
She helped.
He was about to say something.
trying to rebuild the temple with us, man.
Try to grab a sign. You got it. Gonna go to another camp.
Going to the other camp.
Oh, shit.
Hey, y'all brother, go ahead.
That's all.
Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity unto his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
Right, these are the days that we're coming upon, man. You know, when all hell breaks loose, okay, and that famine actually hits the land, you know, first it's going to be the famine of the word, all right, but then it's going to turn to that famine of food. All right, if I'm not mistaken, what was it? Over in the Midwest, their crops are still fucked up. They not able to really get back like how they was, you know, how they used to be. You know, so that world or that famine coming to America real soon, man.
Yeah.
And that's the point where that scripture's gonna take place.
I think they said it was 10 million job losses.
Uh-huh.
You know, they took a major economic hit. That's all.
Yeah.
They took a major economic hit, and the recovery rate is, you know, basically it's a hard slope to, you know, go up, and it mainly hit the blacks, you know, Latinos and Native American populations. You see, and the only place that the rest is within this word, man. Everything in this system is collapsing right before us. You know, that's why even the scriptures speak about don't even try to buy land and all this stuff, man. You're trying to be some mogul in the United States of America. Look, the main thing we provide is this word, man. You know, and pray to the Lord, you know, provide us our daily bread and make it to the next day. You know, of course you have goals and you do certain things to try to level up in the, you know, in the physical or whatnot.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we know all these things gonna perish. You know, it says that everything is temporary. We were born without, and we talk basically go out the same way. Roughly paraphrasing.
Yeah.
We brought nothing in. That's 1 Timothy 6 is
way in the day of adversity.
yeah. We trying to get deliverance, man. It's all about salvation. Your car can't deliver you. Hey, what it said? We are unto this day we are not saved. We're still not saved yet. And this is not salvation. This is hell, man. You got it.
This is Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Yeah, so really tapping in earlier to what we was talking about, man. That's really what you need to be seeking at the end of the day. Thinking that y'all about you outside. All right, seeking the Lord in truth and sincerity. Because you won't have to worry about any of these perils that, you know, happen in your lifetime. Because you know you have the Lord. You know, and you have faith that the Lord is going to bring you through any and everything that happens to you. You don't have any worries when you're in the truth. Because you know the Lord ordained it, whatever you're going through, it's not first going on. And then you know that he's going to bring you through. You know, you got to endure that chastisement from that son. So that's how we know the sons of the Most High. Because we endure chastisement. If we didn't get chastised, we would sit in fast.
And you know, we're also prisoners of hope. We're a nation of hope. These other nations don't hope for shit. You've never heard of Edomite hope for anything. Like, that's not even how Edomite's mind works. They say they gonna do it, and they just why wouldn't we do it?
Right.
We're gonna go to Mars. We're going to Mars.
Yeah. Because it's in their power to do shit like that. Because they got the whole earth under their hand. We don't have that yet. You know?
This is 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 7 down to 8. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed shall be preserved from the said perils and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
Well, that's the thing, man. At the end of the day, we're going to be saved off of our faith. You're not going to be saved off of how many videos you do or if you kept 608 of the 613 laws, you're not going to be saved by that. That doesn't mean you neglect the laws, you know, pursuant to the scriptures. You don't make the law void. You know, we still keep the law. But at the end of the day, we're going to be saved by our faith, man. Which is why it's crucial to have faith, especially in these times that we're coming into. It's about to get real hectic out here for the average American. And if you don't have Yahweh Shem Shai, okay, what is that? Isaiah 36?
Yeah, it's like
Get that. Go ahead.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 13 and 14. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended.
Why would the Most High come and deliver you out of a situation if you don't even believe in it? You don't even believe in it. Why would the Most High come and deliver you? If you don't have any type of faith. You know, if you lack faith and you're not faith-based, you're not going to get saved. It's just that simple.
Yeah, go ahead. When you read Hebrews 11 and 6, without faith it is impossible to please the Most High. You have to have faith.
Oh, you already got it.
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6. But without faith it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
And the word is diligently, man. You can't half-ass this truth and still expect salvation. And still expect the Lord to come through for you in any given moment. That's not how this works, man.
Yeah, you got to meet the Lord halfway.
Come.
You know, because a lot of jakes just be wanting things just slapped on their lap. They just want to send out a prayer and just think the Lord gonna drop it, and, you know, on their front door like a damn UPS package.
It don't work like goddamn store.
Yeah. You got to work for your blessings, man. You want certain things to change. What do they say? If you want things to change, you got to change. You got to, you know, switch and adjust, adapt through the Spirit. And, you know, prayer is the request of really what the Lord will provide within you to actually move forward, you know, through the Spirit to get to that certain point, you know. And the Lord requires action. He's a man of action. Because action really deals with what? The Spirit. Any action that you take, it takes your spirit to actually motivate you to, you know, go forward. As you accelerate, that's your spirit putting forth effort to go forth in an accelerated manner, man.
Do with all thy might.
Yeah, and whatever you do, it says do it with all thy might. And you pray to the Lord for more spirit to keep going forward, man. Which is a power, which is really a form of spiritual power.
Jake has no problem going and putting in extra hours for their job. You know, going in and working extra hard for their boss. When it comes to the Lord, they don't want to do it.
Yeah, this is Colossians 3 and 1. If ye then be risen with Yahweh Shai, seek those things which are above, where Yahweh Shai sitteth on the right hand of the Most High. Set your affections on things above, not on things on the earth.
Right, we really shouldn't be chasing any of these things that are in this world. Because the brother was going into it earlier, all these things are temporal, man. You know, Yahweh Shai said, put not up for yourselves treasures where moth and rust do corrupt. You know, the land for yourselves things that are in heaven. Yeah. Because that's when we're really going to gain all the glory. All the glory that Jake wants on this side, we're going to get it 100-fold in the kingdom of heaven. So to really seeking glory on this side is vain. It's unprofitable. It doesn't yield any good fruit. Okay, you become a celebrity, you a famous rapper. You got a bunch of weed smoking niggas and shrimp eating hoes. Crazy. There's nothing profitable about that, man. You got a couple cars and shit like that. So like,
well, as it says, such is the joy of the hypocrite. Though he have gained the world, he have lost his soul.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those celebrities literally sold their soul. They put their signature, you know, they signed their signature in blood on the dotted line.
Yep.
And anything that those different management companies and things of that nature want them to do, they have to bow down to it. They have to release certain projects. You know, they have certain quotas that they have to tour, you know, and a lot of them be having these 360 deals.
Yeah.
And then, on top of that, it's all kind of sexual favors that men and women in the female or in the music industry has to perform in order to actually, you know, gain wealth and riches. You know?
Remember that group, the producers, No Limit back in the day, Sons of Funk? There was a video where one of the members was saying how they would drug you up and get you in a situation, a compromised situation. And then they'd be like, you know, sign over all your rights to do this. And you'd be like, well, I ain't doing that shit. Why would I do that? And And then they bring out that envelope and be like, oh, you not? And they show the pictures. Of like, listen, we got pictures of you getting rammed by another man. You sure you don't want this to come out? That's why a lot of times you see these videos of Jake be getting exposed, like pictures of they ride be up on the internet, and, you know, all types of stuff. Yeah, those are forms of porn. Selling your body.
And that's the one way too. Especially for the men, you gotta basically demasculinize basically turn yourself to a bitch. Okay.
Yeah, masculine. You gotta have a masculinization.
Yeah.
Emasculate.
You know, because I know Will Smith one of his first movies, he had a scene where he was laying with another man.
Yeah.
You know, he got caught in bed with another man, and then ever since then, he blew up. You know, Martin Lawrence had Big Mama, Kevin Hart, shit.
Yeah, Tyler Perry.
Lord knows what that man.
Wesley Snipes too.
You know.
And most big black faces, they made them put on that dress, man.
Yeah.
You know, and that's part of Esau really pushing the agenda to try to break down the male image, because that really goes back to the Willie Lynch letter too.
Yeah.
They wanted to really emasculate the man, break down his morale, break down his strength, because a man's strength lies in his image. That's why the law speaks about having a beard. It's a part of having a masculine image. Even in today's time in corporate America, you get citations if you try to wear a beard on the job. If you want to grow your beard masculine, you know, you want to actually keep a full beard, they don't allow that in certain corporations, man. Because what? That actually, you know, reduces your presence of seeming presentable unto the people, so to speak.
Yeah.
They want to keep you
beard in the military. You'll be a tranny.
Right.
But you can't wear a beard. You get tatted up.
But that's why I tell you that this is the city of confusion. The city of confusion is broken down. You got it.
This is Mark chapter 8, verse 36 and 37, going into the so no. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
Right, so ultimately you still lose at the end of the day. Because you see most of the time, unless it's just some happy-go-lucky cool, you know, most of the time, dudes be 10, 15 years into their career and then they regret all that shit. You know, they trying to do this deal and trying to sign over all their rights to their owns and all. Esau ain't going for that now. Nah, nigga, you've been silent for 10, 15 years. You's a good Negro. You gonna keep it.
Listen, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
All this.
They be saying that 2 years in, like, goddamn.
Yeah. Depressed. You be online depressed.
Governor.
1 John chapter 2, verse 16 to 17. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of God abideth forever.
Right, and all these things are ultimately, let's say, lust of the world, man. These things are not of the Heavenly Father. The Most High isn't with any of these wicked dealings that people indulge in on a daily basis. The Most High just simply isn't dealing with that. And the scriptures talk about, roughly paraphrasing, if you're a friend of the world, you're an enemy to the Most High. You know, you can get it real quick. The Lord ain't dealing with regular Negroes. He's just not. Which is going back to why they ultimately have to be destroyed. That's the only way the kingdom is going to be inherited or brought forth.
Yeah, you have to have a major cutoff, because the majority of these jakes, they already have their idols that they fully set in.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna change a nigga that's been a blood for over 25 years. You ain't gonna just have him change, man. It has to be something that's divine. Even Paul, if it wasn't for the Spirit of the Lord, Paul would maybe still be a Pharisee, you know, in his practice. But what, the Lord had to knock him off his horse, which is spiritual, representing knocking him off his high horse. Yeah, and then he had to blind him, and they seen it was the Spirit. Yeah. And it said, Paul, why dost thou kick against the pricks? And then Paul started to get those, you know, he got that divine inclination, and that's what humbled him to turn into the word. But when certain jakes are stuck in their ways, it's hard for them to crack. That's why the scriptures speak about where it deals with an aged man.
Old wine and new bottles.
Yeah, the old wine and new bottles. You see?
You can't say old people
Shit. Oh man.
A nigga that's been gangbanging for over 20 years, he gonna gangbang for the rest of his life. And then he gonna teach other people, and it's gonna be indoctrinated, you know? And that's how Jake get caught up in that sin cycle, man. And it ain't like, all right, through the spirit, we're gonna take down the Crips. Because you got certain Jakes that believe, yeah, we're gonna take down the Crips, we're gonna take down the Bloods, we're gonna change, we're gonna get into politics, we're gonna get more black governors, and black, mayors. But it all don't amount to shit. Esau has his place, lock, stock, and barrel. That's where it goes back to Job 9 and 24. The simple scriptures. The Lord, somebody get that real fast, Job 9 and 24. Because it all boils down to that. What the Lord gave away. The Lord gave this kingdom unto a people for an appointed time. You got it?
This is Job chapter 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
The earth is given, the earth, the domain of this planet as we know it, is given. Whenever anything is given, it was something that was presented from one person to the next. The Lord gave this earth. Because what it said, that the heaven is thy throne and earth is thy footstool. So the Lord gave this unto Esau, going back to the blessing. Genesis, what is that, the 27th chapter? Which speaks about that blessed shall be the fatness of the earth. Fat represents the riches. Esau literally raped the whole planet Earth through mining of gold and diamonds in Africa and things of that, fracking, building all these different corporations and industries all over the world. Keep going.
Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
It's given into the hand of the wicked. Esau. Malachi, the 1st chapter. Said, thy border shall be wickedness. Keep going.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof. That's 1 Maccabees, what's that, 3 and 48. Iconoclasm, whitewashing, taking the different sculptures. If you go into those, the ancient coat of arms, you can type in coat of arms now and it's all kind of white images. But it was originally black images. When you deal with all kind of, you had the coat of arms and you had certain flesh, and you had all kind of sculptures, and they were, Negro images, so to speak. Yeah, black Russian icons, and they keep a lot of these things housed in certain museums, cut off to the general public because they don't want that type of image to be pushed upon the face of the earth. But then all throughout your churches, all throughout, whether it's a Catholic church, a Christian church, they got white Jesus. White Jesus is all over the damn place, man. You know? On the forefront. But then they'll say, well, color doesn't matter.
Hate you when you bring out Revelation 1.
Yeah. And then they'll hate you when you bring out but see, of course we judge according to the spirit. It's not about color, but what does it deal with the records? We're dealing with nations, man. Because you have certain Israelites that come off from different countries. Think about how Israel is special money. So we don't even judge according to color, but it's all about the records and the nationality and truth. It's all about for truth's sake. Which Esau will never push. He will never tell you the truth because he's a deceiver. You got it.
If not, where and who is he?
Okay. If not, where and who is? I'll go ahead. Okay. Yeah. If not, where and who is he? So if Esau isn't the image of wickedness, what other nation fits that bill? What other nation has that tab? The Chinese? No. The East Indian man? No. The Arab man? No. It's Esau. I always go into the point of how much population Esau took over. As a matter of fact, you can get Isaiah 27, Esau and his family. Who actually went upon the face of the earth and destroyed literally everything. Dealing with Revelation, the 6th chapter, with the different dragons. You had the pale white dragon, you had the red, you had a different color, and they all represented Esau, man. Esau in his treachery, actually pushing pandemonium literally throughout the face of the earth and breaking down nations dramatically. You got that?
going to start to talk.
This is Isaiah chapter 27 and verse 1. In that day the Lord with his sword and great strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent.
Yeah, so who is Leviathan, that crooked serpent? Who is Leviathan, that crooked serpent, what the scripture's talking about? Brother, you know the answer to that? No? Esau.
Esau.
It's Esau. We're talking about Esau.
That old serpent.
That's that old serpent known as the devil and Satan. But he's the chief snake. Because he's not only is he a snake, he's the snake of snakes. That's why he's liking us to basically survive. He said that, and he said he'll pierce you. Keep going.
It says, he shall slay the dragon.
And he shall slay the dragon. Going back to the serpent and the dragon. What's the dragon? Esau. Through his kingdoms. Because what did it say that the whore that rideth upon the dragon? When you're dealing with what was that, Revelation the 17th chapter? You know? And the whore represented Babylon, and the dragon represented the different nations that was attached to the beast. And then you have the image of the beast. And then you have the mark of the beast. But you have to understand these different pieces of the system to understand when Esau is pushing. Because the scriptures are a political book, it's a historical book, it's a symbolic book, it has metaphors, it has literal points. There's so much that it's encapsulated in the scriptures, and you have to have the spirit to read it.
It's the greatest book ever written.
The greatest book ever written. The never-ending story. Because hey, even in this kingdom of heaven, the words are still gonna be living. It ain't like it's gonna be shut, but you know what? The words is gonna be in it. But it's still gonna be fulfilled every single day through the Spirit. Well, all these words are still, where it says the blessings shall overtake thee. That passage will never just get closed. It's always gonna be provided with understanding on how it's gonna be always overtaken by blessing. Keep going. And that's why Esau goes out his way to hack distractions, hack entertainment, and deception to keep you from the goal, the kingdom of heaven. Esau knows it's the kingdom of heaven. He looks out of space. He actually, keeps you blind.
Hey, well,
there's so much stuff that goes on that Esau just keeps what they call classified.
Yeah.
Classified to the general public.
Burn after reading.
And they will never, they'll never go out their way to let you retrieve that type of information because it's powerful. But we have the spirit. And we understand that through the word.
If I can say, bro, that's why you have Jeremiah 31 and 31, where it speaks about it. If you can measure out all the ordinances of heaven and count the stars of heaven, that he would do away with the nation of Israel. That's why Esau puts millions and billions and trillions of dollars into his space program. That's why we know it's pictures of the invincible or innumerable heaven, because Esau's trying to measure that shit. He's driven by trying to understand what's out there and put a number to it, because he knows that the Lord, being a man of his word, if he measures it, you have to destroy it. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'll do away with the ordinances, I'll do away with the moon, whatever, if it means doing away with the Israelites. That's how important, that's how much he knows, man.
And Esau knows that it's a time of reckoning, man. That's why they have a doomsday clock. They know it's going to be a day of doom and gloom. You see how these different doomsday residences. Hey, take the time to look at some of them, man. See the size of them? Like, oh yeah, Esau got places where he planned to live for years, man. Decades on end. Because they understand certain prophecies. These certain individuals, it was a reason why all these different CEOs had stepped down basically pre-pandemic. I think it was a couple months before.
Like you were saying, they all stepped down right before everything started to pop off. Now, the other day, Jeff Bezos, he stepped down for Amazon. So, hey, most I know, why he stepped down and shit. Probably because they got to do some extra people.
Well, they were saying that from what the statement was, why he said he stepped down, the different office that he takes upon himself. I forget the exact name of it, but he got more lead to really push brands, so to speak, and just not take much of a hit as being basically the CEO. So it's kind of like a little political strategy. I mean, ain't no telling. These devils will say one thing and then do another. Because one thing which majority of these companies have in common is they don't want to take that major hit and be the face of blame, man.
And he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea.
And he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. The sea represents all the people, nation, and tongue. But the Lord has to slay the dragon. See, the Lord said, but it starts now. It starts now with the word. The word has to be pushed out on the constantly, consistently. And it has to be echoed within the spirit of this world. That's why we put this through constantly. You know? And then as people see it and they realize it in real time, so to speak, they see that, oh, that's the spirit of Yahweh. That's the spirit of God.
And then shall you know that a prophet.
And then shall you know that a prophet. And what's that? And then shall the end come.
Yep.
Because these different chariots that they call UFOs, they're gonna start arriving. They're gonna revisit and they're gonna get busy. You see that even this thing with Biden, with Russia and Iran, it's still tension in the air. The tension got worse. You know, he told he supposedly told, this is what Biden said out of his mouth, he had told Vladimir Putin that he doesn't appreciate them interfering in the elections and this, that, and other. And he was basically like, you know, we're willing to take it there. So now they're pushing sanctions on Russia. And they also were speaking about going into the back into the Iran deal. They basically cut out of that. So it's still tension in the air. And it's still war that's soon to arrive. It's still war that's soon to come, man. You see? As a matter of fact, you got something? I want to get some else. Get Ezekiel 76.
This is before they're going into the dragon display. This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 7. It says, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels.
That's the Lord and the chariots fighting against Esau and the fighter jets, all his militarized equipment, you know, from the aerial planes to try to take down the Lord. And Esau, and that's why you have movies that actually go into these different things taking place.
Yeah.
That's not something that's just some fantasy. You know, these devils understand major events that's going to take place in the future. That's where you have even the term theater. Theater really goes into theos, which is really pertaining to the Most High. The Most High actually puts the spirit on these different producers and these directors, these movie directors.
Stephen King's of the world.
These Stephen King's and
Spielberg.
Yep.
Michael Bay. Yep.
And he taps into that pineal gland. Just think about even sleeping. Whenever you sleep, you get inclination from the Lord, because the Lord makes those movies flow, and what it says, you can't do nothing against the truth or for the truth. It's the job of on the face of the earth, they're not going to be fighting against the 1/3, they're going to be fighting for the 1/3. Because also the deliverance is going to come through angels. So when you see all kind of chaos and chaotic events take place, The plane, trying to go to another state.
Get out of the major cities like on some independent shit.
Yeah. You know, trying to cut on the news to see what the mayor got to say about it. Trying to get count. What else? You know, even this vaccine thing. I ain't even been listening to them. I usually listen to the news consistently. I haven't even been listening to the news for the past couple of days. Every time I turn it on, they keep pushing the goddamn vaccine and how many people are just encouraged to take it. The fight for people taking it, the testimonials on how good the vaccine is. And people are going crazy to try to get this vaccine right now. It ain't like there's a lot of people fighting against it, but it's a lot of people that busting their hands to get it.
That's what they're going to show you. Like, even if it was, I believe more people not taking it. They're going to report it to you like you need to take it because that's the whole agenda. But then it's like when the truth come out, it's definitely a lot of people taking it. But it's like when the truth come out after they take it, people dying. It's like, you don't know. Like I see why you don't watch news. You don't know exactly what is the news about it.
That's propaganda. That's all it is. Propaganda goes into the word, I think, propaganda, which means to spread. They just spreading out a spirit. And then they took it, then they'll hear people talk about major black, so-called figures that take it. They go, oh, if Jay-Z took it, that's why a lot of these people want to take the shit.
Great dragon was cast out. That old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world,
Dealing with that witchcraft. And the Lord is going to break that mold. The Lord is going to collapse this kingdom through force, through brute force. The Lord literally built Babylon to destroy it, just like the ancient tower of Babylon. You know? That was all through the Spirit. The Lord let it actually get prominent, get built up to the heavens, let the sin reach to the heavens. It tells you that in Revelation, the 18th chapter. That sins have reached unto the heavens, and he will reward double.
But that's like
just to be broken down.
That's like that board game. You ever play that game where you stack the Jenga? You know, Jenga, it's not fun when it's just a few blocks up and it falls. You want that shit, it's like, you see it like, and it's a spirit behind it. So it's like the Lord being the same spirit with this place. He want to build it up high, and you're like, oh, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes.
It's slavery. All the way down.
That's why you got Revelation, Revelation 18. The angel standing afar, Alas, that great city. It's a celebration. You ain't gonna celebrate when something small falls. You be like, oh shit.
And this is and it ain't talking about no Vatican. The Lord ain't worried. Come on. Look, the kingdom that's gonna fall is the good old US of A, man. The red, white, blue. This is Babylon the Great. And all the other kingdoms gonna fall with it. Don't get it wrong, because it's a system. It's a multi-dynamic system that's the beast. When Babylon falls, which is the whore, the beast gonna fall with it. The Lord's gonna chop off all the heads. That's why I say he's the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and he's gonna wear many crowns. Where's the Lord gonna just double crown on his head? No, it's metaphor. The Lord's gonna bring down many kings. And therefore establishing many rulership. Many houses.
You're gonna hold your hand down on each of them?
Yeah.
He was cast out into the earth.
He was cast out into the earth. Going back to that low domain, being broken all the way down. Keep going.
And his angels were cast out with him.
And his angels were cast out with him. Keep going.
And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed.
That's the victor. Keep going.
For the accuser of our brethren is cast down.
For the accuser of our brethren, the false image, the false deity, really Esau is really like a false Christ. A false Mashiach, false Savior. Keep going.
Which accuse them before our power day and night.
Accuse them before our power day and night.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. Through the Spirit of the Lord. Because the Lord's blood rests upon us. And this is the altar. And we make ourselves a sacrifice, which is really a portion of purifying ourselves with the blood of the Lamb. You know? Keep going.
It says, and by the word of their testimony.
And by the word of their testimony. What's the word of the testimony? Represents the witness. Keep going.
And they love not their lives unto death.
And they love not their lives unto death. Keep going.
Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them.
Keep going.
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth
Keep
and
going.
of the sea.
Yep.
For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time.
Yeah, and we see that going on right now. Scripture speak about it in Nahum, how Esau comes down like the evening wolf. Well, matter of fact, I think that's the first chapter. Speak about it all. That also is looking at a precept. Yeah, precept.
Okay. Just going back to what the brother was saying about the Most High sent Esau up to fall. Psalm 73 and 18. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou castest them down to destruction.
Oh, you bring it down.
Yeah, so that slippery place is a high place, man. Just like just say a mountain. If you look at a mountain region, at the top of a mountain region, it's a slope.
Yeah.
And guess what? If you make one wrong move to the left or to the right, you're gonna fall. So being at that top is only one way to go, which is down. So the Most High done put Esau Edom in that top position, and then he have given him the high level of pride and making him think he's never gonna go down. So that's a position to fall right there.
Yeah. All nations have their incline and all of them have their decline. You know, you had ancient Rome, it was the best. You know, in ancient Rome, nobody would say ancient Rome is gonna fall. Right. And the ones that did predict that was only a few, because what? Ancient Rome had the bread and circus, they had a gladiatorial arena, boom. That was presented to the people. They couldn't see that they had a good transit route. They had most, delicacies, so to speak. They had the best diversity of foods because of the location. You know, you have these different riverbanks, and so they had a good transit. They had all these. They had a good military. They didn't believe that Rome was going to fall.
I mean, even the effect of Rome to this day, that people legitimately believe that the ancient Egyptians were white people. That's single-handedly because of the Greco-Roman Empire. So as you said, nobody perceived that Rome was going to fall. Rome stretched from North Africa all the way through the Middle East, to Asia, to India. Come on, man, they didn't see themselves. I agree.
And this is the same thing today. But that's why it's only a few men that have the nuts, so to speak, the kahumans, to come out here and speak this. America, the world, all these different world kingdoms are going to fall through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shana. The Lord himself is going to come back and bring pure judgment. That's right. Yeah.
This is Habakkuk, chapter 1.
Because this is part of Esau coming down with great wrath. The closer we get to the end, the harder this man is going to come. See, he's trying to catch create these different agent provocateurs, to actually put us in the box of the so-called terrorist organization.
Habakkuk 1:6. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs.
Yeah. And see, they're gonna make it. They're gonna get to the point where it's gonna be nothing for them to kick in doors and to yank you out your household. Man.
They got executive orders on that.
Yeah, they got executive orders. When martial law and all these different things take place, see, we going through these different trial runs. That's all we're going through right now.
Yep.
These are these different buff periods to see how people react, to read and study militias, understand how to crack down. There's all kind of crackdowns going on all over the United States. People react to pressure from above, pressure from below. And Esau is just scaling, adding to his military, adding to domestic police, giving them more guns, basically stalling you out. And they use the same tactics with the Native Americans. If you see how Esau took down Gad, they took down Gad very systematically. They made peace treaties. Always speaks about, I think that Psalms 58th chapter where it speaks about Esau being a serpent. But they actually established peace treaties, and then they broke them. and then they took certain pieces of territory, and then they fought, and then they took, gained their domain, and then they just took it piece by piece till they took over the whole United States of America.
Okay. Hawaiians.
Yeah, the same thing with the Hawaiians. Hold that real fast. Yeah, that song. Yeah.
Psalms chapter 58, verse 4. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent.
Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. Right when Esau bites you, and see, he'll coil you. He's like a he's not just any typical serpent. He can coil you, constrict you, poison you through the fangs,
hunt you down.
Because one thing about snakes are the most diverse animals as far as versatile types. You got snakes that can be in the water monsters. You got the ones that can be in the desert. You got the ones that are good at ambushing. You got ones that can, like the rattlesnake, it can rattle you in. And those are all different aspects of the Esau. And Esau plays it through the different districts. Whether it's selling you a car, Esau not a snake.
Like Esau has the FBI, the CIA, they all look different. But it's all still they're all sticking their own business. We got a choice. If you talk to the system, even if you judge,
King Cobra, huh?
King Cobra, yeah, he's a King Cobra. And our job is just not even to go into the den of the snake, man.
Slime.
You got a lot of people that want to try to go into the den of the snake early and try to cut the head off the snake like they're some Billy Badass Hercules character, man. That's not, the scriptures even tells you that in the book of Sirach. Basically don't believe in your scalp because you're going to actually be slayed like a bull straying along. I think Sirach 6 and 2. I think that might be it. But you can read that in Psalm 58.
Psalm chapter 58, verse 4. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent.
Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. You don't tempt the snake, and we ain't snake charmers either. They think they so charming, they can out-charm the snake charmer himself. Esau charmed the world. Not only is he a snake, he's a snake charmer. He knows how to control other snakes that's in his will.
King snake.
He's a king snake.
That's how you know he was a serpent. That's how you know he was a serpent in the garden. Because he was the most, it says the most subtle beast of all. The subtle beast of the field. And he's more subtle than snakes. Bro, he's a better snake than snakes.
Yeah, that's
All right. The book of Sirach 6 and verse 2. Extol not thyself in counsel of thine own heart.
Extol not thyself in counsel of thine own heart. Heart goes to the Hebrew word mind.
It says that thy soul be not torn in pieces as a bull straying along.
That thy soul be not torn in pieces like a bull straying along. So this isn't a one-man party, man. You got certain jakes that think they can just goddamn go out on some, like I said, some Billy Badass type shit. Like
Crocodile Dundee.
Rambo.
But you had Sakari, you had these different zealots that actually believe that shit, man. Like we could start up a war, or we had to pull up boys. What you pulling up to? They be literally thinking that they gonna take down 2 or 3 white boys, and now they got control of the kingdom. We gonna capture the mayor, man. That don't mean shit.
Make them lick the dust off my boot.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. A lot of them.
It's
a system. It's the beast. It's the image. The Lord is the only one that can literally crush that image, but it starts now with us pushing out this word. It's my word. Keep going.
Verse 3, it says, thou shalt eat up thy leaves and lose thy fruit, and leave thyself as a dry tree.
Yeah, basically being put to death. Because, yeah, like how the Lord did the picture. He did some more in that Psalms of his.
Psalm chapter 58, verse 4.
Yeah, and that's why the scripture says to be as wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. But the thing is, understanding that Esau is a snake is like, how do you beat the snake? You have to learn your enemy. You have to know your enemy. You have to know how he moves. You got to know when you can be entrapped with. You got to know what can you do to get in this world and understand how to avoid things at all costs. You got a lot of Jakes that just make bad decisions and they get trapped within the system. And they so tightly trapped within the system that they literally can't do shit. Jake be having about 9 baby mamas, probation like a motherfucker, felony, 30. I think it was the one Jake on my job, I think he said like he got like 20 felonies. Like, damn. Because you know how the felonies, when you do certain crimes, they know how to put them numbers on you. Next thing you know, you done did about, now you got about 11. But that's how the system gets you. And see, Jake falls within the pit. That's the thing with our people. We in such poverty that we learn so much from this nigger trials and nigger errors. And by the time you actually wake up to certain things, your life is like fucked up. And Jake got to try to climb up out of the hole, which that was really set up by the devil. Esau literally set this system up, what they call the project. An area, which a project is just an area to experiment on people.
Psalm 17.
Yeah, Psalm 17.
They build a pit, they shall fall into it. But a lot of Jakes still fall in that pit.
On that.
They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth the ear, that stoppeth her ear. Verse 5, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. Break their teeth, O Yahweh, in their mouth.
That's what it boils down to, the Lord breaking the teeth of this devil, man. Because we're dealing with the snake venom. And the Lord's going to break the teeth with the because of the military. They always speak about the phalanx.
And they had a strong dominance, and they had both of these cities, but they all fell. That's what they all had to come. Break up the great peace of the young lion, O Lord. Let them get away as herders with one continually. When he did it, he drove to see his arrow, let them be a threat.
That's why it's nothing for them to even crack down these streets and to turn this into a what's the term they can use? Basically a police state. You know, this is this place, we see that this place can become a police state literally overnight. How much they've been transporting, and they ain't never say that all these different tanks. Cause y'all remember when this pandemic took place, there was all kind of tanks and shit that was coming in. We ain't see no videos of them leave.
They ain't see that shit leave.
We ain't see them leave. They here.
Park behind some fucking wood, shrubs on the side of a highway and shit.
Yeah.
Or you know how you coming off a 285 and 8 and a 20, like by Candler and when you come around that bend, man, there's so many trees and pockets and stuff. And you be like, man, you don't know what's over there. It's military.
It ain't nothing for them to pop out like that overnight, man.
That shit in your backyard, man.
They already got, and then they got all these stations prepped for chipping too. That's one thing about it.
Yeah.
These massive vaccine stations, and they're giving people rights now. They had people that were like they haven't vaccinated people in like 10, 15 years. They got a legislation where it's like, all right, you gonna start vaccinating because we need more people to get these vaccines out, or the vaccines, so to speak. But you know how Esau is, man. You be saying that. They gonna like dropping a curse. That's worse than a cussing, goddamn.
Damn, radiation.
You said that was cuss words. Then when it comes to it, he was like, yeah, that Max. But anyway, dealing with the vaccine, they got so many people pushing it. Who's to say that Esau's not going to use the same individual to push that? All these people do that trial work. Esau is getting correct. Who said you're led as sheep for the slaughter? Esau is not here for your betterment. He's here for your destruction.
And before they ship like cattle and sheep and cows and shit, what do they do before they ship them to the slaughter? Tag them or whatever. They tag them and they give them antibiotics. So in a sense, what is the spirit? What is he doing to us as a warrior? He's trying to vaccinate you, get you with this virus in you, or this that such and such.
You want to beat down your manhood, beat down your spirit. On that
as a snail.
Let everyone pass. really modify and monitor past what we just to when the Lord, when the angel of Ezra bring back, and she has to go first, bring back yesterday. You can't bring back yesterday.
Studies all what it says that he's wiser than Daniel.
That's right, brother.
In the heart of every one of them is deep. They study these prophecies. That's why I say they have a doomsday clock. If you really go into a lot of these old Bible commentaries, they really link up the fourth kingdom really with America.
And now you gotta go from here. More good than the evil world, more force than the evil world.
That's how you know that this civil war that's about to occur in America is literally Civil War 2.0. It's the same shit, the same people. Because when the Civil War was fought of old, you had a lot of Trump supporter. It's because they have businesses, they have money and things that's tied up in this. I gotta support it. They're invested in it. Same thing.
It says, and the horsemen shall spread themselves, and the horsemen.
They shall fly as the eagle that hates the sea. They shall kill all for violence. It is some are symbolic. And it's always, and it can be just one event that changes the optics of the world, of living. One major phenomenon. If you don't think about that, you know, he will tell you all this when you know the problem and they're basically alright, we're going to think that the whole time
that can tell us, that provides insight of these next great events and how to avoid them. You know, how to build within these different situations that take place.
You say the righteous man.
Keep going.
Their faces shall sup up as the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the sand.
Oh, and they're gonna quit taking all these different concentration camps, right? Forcefully against their will.
Yeah.
Start putting a lot of Jakes to death.
Publicly.
Yeah.
That's what the cops are. The cops ain't nothing but the modern day, what were they called in Germany? Brown coats? Yeah, the SS troops. Their whole job in Nazi Germany was basically not. Nazi Germany was nothing more than a beta run.
Yeah.
They needed to test everything that they were going to do here on the real. Yeah, so we get bit all the time, but the difference is we're like the Apostle Paul. When he got bit, he just threw the snake off and kept moving. But Esau, but the rest of Jake can't do that shit, man. Jake out here, they play with the snake, like we're going into, they get bit, and then they wonder why their arm fall off, or they wonder why they get brain dead. Because you're playing with a snake. We're not playing. If we get bit, it's just, you gotta live and learn. Sometimes you might be walking on your path and, hey man, you ever been bit by or stung by a hornet? Like hornets, and they keep their nests. They keep their nests on in the ground. So it. The scriptures say agree with thy adversary quickly. That's the one way of dealing with this snake that our people don't understand. Like we're going into his laws. Right. They gonna tell him his laws and what the hell you ain't gonna do. I ain't gotta do shit. Right, and when your ass gets shot, when your ass gets beat up with a patty, you know, but you getting baton, and then you want us to cry for you, like that little, you know. And the prudent shall keep silent. The scriptures say that an evil man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. There's a spirit to how you move with these people, but our people are Billy badasses. They wanna tell the cop, suck it. Then you wonder why he beat the shit out of you. He should have beat the shit out of you.
I was like that situation where my brother had Esau was arguing with Edomite couple, arguing with a dude, and basically he shot him. Victory is about the battles that you don't even have to engage in. You know, certain things that you already know is like.
We're sheep.
What does Scripture speak about in James? It says, any man is tempted when you get that James the first chapter, when he seduced from his own lust. And I got to avoid the lust of temptation, things that might trap us, things that might convict us. Because Esau wants to try to pull you out of your element, bait you in. That's part of what.
And we'll always have more. It's a personal matter. Just think after camp, like, I can wait and war, 2 hours. I'm talking about what you say, I'm just saying. It's general. you look at it, all right, like this is the battlefield, it's raining out here, so after I get home, I'll cut back on the heat, but I'm cutting off and maybe
You gotta weigh up all these variables in everything that you do in life. And you know, as you make decisions, which the word decision means to cut out. You know, you cut out certain things and you just go with what it summarizes.
You can't go both ways.
Yeah, you can't go both ways. And if you make bad decisions, you know, and you live through it, you learn, and you wisen up. That's the fullness coming. Because some things are just learn and see through observation. Some people have to learn certain things that learn the hard way. Right. Ram the head, fall down, get up, and ram the head again. Like, bro,
touch the hot pan to realize it's hot.
Like, shit, this shit, I can't go this way. Yeah. But the Lord treats us as sons. You know? But it's always what? That's why it's always room for repentance. The power of repentance, that's a form of power. And we have to take advantage of that. Because we sin constantly. And we might sin just as bad as Jake was sin in the world that's worthy of death, and the Lord requires our sins to repent. Because some Jakes don't even repent. They don't even go to the Lord.
Sure mercies of David.
Sure mercies of David. Keep going.
It says, when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed.
When he is drawn away from his own lust and enticed. Keep going.
Then when lust have conceived.
When lust have conceived. Keep going.
It bringeth forth sin.
It bringeth forth sin. That's the transgression of the law, which is the sin. Keep going.
And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. And it tells you that also in Wisdom of Solomon, what it said, through sin, dang it, Wisdom of Solomon, I think 1 and 10, and then it speaks about through envy of the devil, sin was brought into the earth. Man was made to be a mortal. Because man wasn't even designed to die, to be honest. Yeah, that's what we realized. Yeah. But it started to be a constant decline. The oldest man to live recorded in the scriptures was Methuselah. He lived to be 969 years old. This is real fast. This is Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 24. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world. And that's dealing with the fruit, the knowledge of good and evil. Because see, when part of Adam eating of the tree, and him and Eve being tempted, they basically, tapped into the spirit of death, to be honest. Because if they wouldn't have ate of that, they would have been immortal. And that's why it says that. A matter of fact, verse 23. For the Most High created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. That's heavy. All right, that's another one. First, Wisdom of Solomon 1:15. For righteousness is immortal, but ungodly men with their works and words called it to them. For when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught and made a covenant with it, because they are worthy to take part with it. Right, so man was designed to be immortal, but through the flesh is because it gradually breaks down, really through first sin, which was like a penetration. When Adam and Eve went off, that was the decline. What it said, part of the curses when you're dealing with Genesis, it spoke about through the sweat of thy brow shall thou labor. You got to work for everything you get, and then the world is, the tax of the world is dying out. The thorns and thistles, and the woman shall, she will actually bear sorrow even through childbearing. When Eve was perfect, if she would have had a child back then, she wouldn't even have had to go through the birth pains, man. The different contractions and feeling that aggressive sensation from having children. Hell, even nowadays, these women got to take all kind of drugs before they even have children. I think they said back in the day, women would just take shot of liquor or whatnot and have children, man. And they would just bear the grief. But if we was in our perfection, Eve wouldn't even feel that pain. The earth would actually produce its own without man actually having to till and to actually work the land. It would just actually produce.
I'll let them know that this book.
But matter of fact, you get that in another Genesis. That was the falling off of God, us from our godly estate. Noah had the power to even call animals into a tent and then minister unto him. You'll see these certain shows and you'll see like Aquaman. Yeah. I think he had a power of like aquatic animals and things of that nature. And then they'll wonder like, I didn't know if you could get all the animals within the ark. They came to him.
They ain't want to die.
He can say he had dominion over the animals.
Right.
You know? Keep going. Oh, you got that, that was it?
It's the book of Genesis 3 and verse 15. I will put enmity between thee and the woman.
Yeah, that enmity is the division. And even, we see it today, even dealing with the curses, Deuteronomy 28 to 56. It speaks about how, a man and a woman is going to have division within one another. Enmity is kind of like an enemy.
Right.
It's always this niggas ain't shit, it's always this bitches ain't shit. They're constantly against each other. And we will constantly be against each other until really the kingdom ends. Right. Dealing with the Lord said that in Matthew 10 and 35, I was set at variance, the mother against the parents. And see, Jake be trying to fight for the perfect family, man. Because they go off of television.
Yeah. Bustables.
Yeah, they'll go.
Yeah, I got family matters. That's it,
They like, you got the funny sister, and you got, the stoic brother, that's on the sports team, and you got this nice girl.
Crazy cousin, yeah.
The mother and the,
He's on the basketball team.
Like CJ got that full house spirit, man. But you be like, damn, my family fucked up, man. My uncle just robbed me, goddamn. Mama and my father divorced. Shit, he just got out on drugs. Brother homosexual. It's beyond that stuff. But see, look, that's why the Lord set up like that, because it boils down to the 2/3 and the 1/3. All of Israel ain't gonna be right. The Lord said he's gonna save 2 of a family. He didn't say he's gonna save a whole family. He just raising up the whole house of Israel. It's a cutting, and we see the clear division. We see certain Jakes that just can't get it. We don't be trying to wake everybody up. We ain't no Jehovah's Witnesses, man. Right. Knocking on any random door, just kicking it to them. You're looking for people to convert.
The mysteries given to the
It says, and between thy seed and her seed, it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
Keep going.
Genesis 3:16, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow.
Unto the woman I will greatly multiply thy sorrow. Keep going.
In thy conception.
In thy conception. Keep going.
In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
And he shall rule over thee. And that was even a statute of commandment. But does the man actually, well, that goes into Isaiah 3:12, women rule over them?
Yeah, come.
Surely I will turn a new thing in the earth, a woman will compass that of a man. Even that's upside down. Isaiah 29:16. Surely you're turning up things upside down. We're literally living in the upside down world. We haven't even experienced living since we've been here, man. We don't know true life, what true food tastes like. All this food that we eat is tainted. It's really poison. Ancient food, hell, I always say this, people in the country that eat pork, they live longer than we live in the city.
Eating vegetarians.
Yeah, being vegans and shit.
Yeah.
That's real.
That shit real. Yeah.
They live to like 102, man.
And they eat pork. They had
3 times a day.
They had that pig for what that, you know, they ate all kind of other stuff. They had big trees and stuff like that. But them eating pork and us eating, like you said, being a vegan or a vegetarian, we dying quicker. You might be in a city and you think it's a blessing to hit 60, 65.
Bro, crackheads live longer than vegans, bro.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Well, you know, the scriptures even speak about how it's a curse to be in the city. And within the city, it says it's a curse to be house to house. But people cover this stuff the most.
Yeah, this is the goal. You don't got to put it on camera, but like you said, these condos, the scriptures speak all the way. It gets too much. That's too much spirit in one building, man. That's just too much going on, man. It's units upon units and 4 to 5, 6 member families in each unit. Like, man, that's just too much spirit. And then you wonder why people are depressed and looking to kill themselves and doing all type of drugs and homosexual. Because it's just too much spirit. You know, but they go back to the devil. He'd rather flunk you all into one place, and he's got probably 300 people he can tax and make money off of just that one block.
Yeah.
He couldn't do that shit in the country. In the country, it'd be one house. Yeah. You know, people in the country, they might have, one man might have, bro, you know, it might be one man with 100 acres.
Hell yeah.
It'd be one man with all this area. Okay. So he saw that I'm losing money on that. He don't have to. He's exempt from taxes. Your ass in here making Esau flat, making him rich, man, and going crazy in the process.
Yeah. Project. This is the middle of the project.
Oh, it's a luxury project. There.
That's beautiful.
Hey, the spirit. That's why I hated going to Atlantic with that demon that was in our camp. Because you go into that building, it's $1 million project building. It ain't nothing but niggas in there. You know the Atlantic. Yeah, Atlantic ain't nothing but a big tip, Allen Tippin, man.
Psalms 82 and 5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
All the foundations of the earth are out of course. Everything is thrown out of whack.
Okay.
You know, your viewpoints on the world, everything is thrown out of whack so much that a lot of jakes believe in this shit. And then they'll speak about, you know, how they don't want even righteous men to rule over them, so to speak. You know, bringing out the word because of what they was taught. You know, they just believe in their mama or grandmama. If outside of grandma and mama, they ain't gonna preach. You know, they don't believe that another man can tell them the truth. You got so many people that just stuck in their ways, and that's what the Lord just gotta start happening, man. There's gonna be amazing just killing. Black kills, because in order to actually, like when you're dealing with cancer, when you're dealing with certain things like that, you have to kill off the virus or majority of the cancer in order to save the body. That's why a lot of people have to go through chemo and things of that nature. If not, or like a canker sore, you have to kill it off. If not, it'll keep growing. And it's the same thing with Jake. It ain't gonna be no fucking gangs and a couple good Crips that made it, man. The Lord has to get rid of them. Because what happens with anything is that if it's 1, it turns into 2. 2 turns to 4, 4 turns to 8. That's why the Lord has to just exterminate the 2/3 all at once, literally. And
They are a virus.
Yeah, they are virus. And I'm gonna go ahead and take
First Corinthians 6 and 9. About no effeminate, because the brother was basically just speaking on how the Lord got to cut off the cancer. And really, the real cancer is the wicked of our people. Our people have no inkling of an understanding of what this life is really about. The reprobates. Right, the reprobates, the board of judgment. They don't have the mental aptitude to really understand what is really supposed to be. So they go off of a bunch of things. They go off of their lust. They go off of their own desires. And all it equals is sin. It equals death. So they're going to keep adding on things that don't promote life. So what's going to happen is the Lord is going to cut those people off, cut those spirits off. They're not going to make it to the kingdom. And the Lord is going to be.
1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 9. All these that are unrighteous okay, you can't bring,
analogy a lot. If you got one rotten fruit in the bowl, eventually the rest of the fruit in the bowl is going to be right. Matter of fact, if somebody give me, yeah, cuz you want to get that scripture, a little leaven?
Because that's what that's what the ark is going into.
Galatians chapter 5 verse 9, a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. But our people don't live like that. Curse my guy, mother and father, white man, all of us. So, what's happening is, looking at this government and our people, it's coming out. And it's coming out to know that the world is important. So they're about to be cut off. Okay? Yeah, that's why the spirit that virus is coming out is fungal. And then
all the residents are held up, man. This fungal might, all the 2/3 of the day gonna start dying from fucking yeast infection, man.
Brain issues, the fungal be in the brain, and with the whole shit. You know, got there, squeeze your lungs out, and shit. You know? But, was there still some more in those scriptures? Yeah. Is that?
It's 1 Corinthians, back in 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Be not deceived, neither fornicators.
No fornicators, meaning whether that's in the flesh or the
how you gonna go into the kingdom?
But you hold on to the philosophy of America, democracy and all of that. No, you can't go into a mind frame into the kingdom with a mind frame like that. There's no democracy in the kingdom. Okay? It's going to be a monarchy. You know?
This is Ephesians 4:4, and it says there is one body and one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one power, and Father of all, who is above all and through all.
No other way, there's no other thinking or thought process that's going to be able to have you sitting on the throne in the kingdom. It's not going to have. We're not going to have senators and representatives in the kingdom. No, it's going to be 144,000 men underneath the King Yahushua and the Heavenly Father. You know. So no fornicators. Go ahead.
It says nor idolaters.
No idolaters, same thing. No worshiping other gods. Okay. We're not going to bring that timid philosophy into the kingdom. Okay?
It says nor effeminate.
No effeminate.
Nor adulterers, nor effeminate.
No adulterers, no effeminate. All right? We're not going to have homosexuals in the kingdom of heaven sitting next to the other two. Right? We're not going to have
saying, I go the way of the earth, be thou strong therefore and shew thyself a man.
Right, that's a man. Because when you're being set up on the throne, you have to make a decision for all of your people.
Right.
That's why it was a wise thing for Solomon to
because if you're going to rule over the unfinished, you don't make it. You're the only one that can aspire, even though it's your kingdom. No, it's not your kingdom. You're just representing the Heavenly Father on earth to your
That's a self. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to put the people before you.
You're there to serve the people.
That's really the job of a king. His job is a public servant. You're a servant to the people. It's not about laying up, eating grapes.
Right. That's the benefit. That's the benefit because what's the name? It's your mind.
Yes.
The reason why we work hard, we at these bottom jobs, we work as hard as hell, physical labor, you would think because of how hard we work, we would get paid more. Really the ones at the top is your mind, because that's the highest, that's really where you can really make your money, because you could be ox. You know what I'm saying? And you can move tons of millions of pounds of material.
There's nothing to find labor at.
Yeah, like it's nothing to find somebody to pick something up and move it over there.
Yeah.
But somebody that can actually show you how to run things, that's a level of skill that only so few have.
Like Al Shah received the blueprint from the Most High, and he carried out the task perfectly. You know what I mean? So, like you said, that takes a high level of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to be able to do that.
Right. Because like in the ancient world, when you look at the ancient prophets and priests, they were sitting next to the, Daniel was what, second in the kingdom? Or Joseph was second in the kingdom because of his wisdom? Daniel was a president over a province.
Which means first servant.
Yeah, but he was sitting right next to, he was under the king. He sat with the other president of the other provinces in Babylon and Persia. So go back to that.
All right, it's back to 1 Corinthians 6 and verse 6 and 9 again. It says, "Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High, but be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate,
Right, so you gotta show yourself a man. You gotta be able to make these decisions. No effeminate, go ahead.
nor abusers of themselves as mankind,
Right,
with mankind."
Right, no abuse of themselves with mankind. That's it.
It says, nor covetousness.
Right.
All right.
Covetous, which is desiring something that somebody else has. Go ahead.
Nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners,
nor extortioners, scammers, go ahead,
shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High.
Right, and those are all the characteristics of the wicked of our people. So the Lord's going to have to cut that cancer. Jake that think like that, they got to be put down.
Yeah, it should say in the scripture.
Right.
Description of a nigga.
Right. And the side margin.
A nigga shall not inherit the kingdom.
A nigga should not inherit the kingdom because you can't have people that you can't trust. But you can't trust people like that. You can't trust people like that. Okay?
Mainly why you can't trust them? Because they ain't got the same spirit that you got.
They don't have the same mind frame.
The same mind frame. They got a left hand spirit.
The people in the world about one Lord, one baptism, one faith. We gotta be in one. Yeah, people we gotta be in the one so we can meet together. That's real unity. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's the real one body. Okay? Integrity, loyalty, commitment, all of that don't mean and that's why we're underneath one belief. You got groups that come together and get together like this. Philippians.
Philippians chapter 2 and verse. Fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded.
Like-minded, go ahead.
Having the same love, being of one accord.
Of one mind. One accord, one heart, one understanding. Okay? It says what? Fulfill ye my joy. So who is it not my God for us to have the same mind? And God, brothers and sisters, this is all over God, all over love, if you come here, we can all teach you. Because the Lord sees that there's one in one mind. After that mind, there's one core. Everybody's trying to live through something, you know? Rock chapter 37 and verse 12, it says, but you continue if God is love, without knowing, right, so we're going to continue to do it next year, and we're going to see it's not going to we can be part brother, we can be part food. But those two, those back together.